Okay, we're now good to go.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. You had a chance to look at the agenda. Are there any errors, omissions, additions? If not, I have a recommendation that the agenda for the PSB meeting of Thursday, July 23rd, 2020 be accepted as presented. Although, could I have a mover and a seconder?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor? It is passed. Are there any declarations of interest? No, there are no presentations or delegations. We've had a chance to look at the minutes of the meeting held June 25th, 2020. Again, any errors or omissions or additions? So if I could have a mover and a seconder, please.
So moved.
Seconded.
And it's recommended that the PSB minutes dated June 25th, 2020 be adopted as presented. All those in favor? Okay, passed. Now, the communications and petitions. Anything in the action items or the information items? Any questions or errors or omissions?
Mr. Chair, just to comment quickly on that we are, of course, still in the process. COVID did sort of interrupt that entire process with the police services boards, and see the communication there on this from the OAPSB. I think there's also some AMO documentation. I think that's all under the same. Some interesting commentary there that will, I think, would be good for a discussion slated at our next meeting. Because obviously that process is still going. There's still some lobbying going on in all different directions with that. And of course, we have our letter going in as well, expressing our opinions of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, maintaining the same, essentially the same PSB structure here with us that we have currently, opposing the amalgamation idea, especially if it involves larger municipalities like North Grenville. So there's some good documentation there. I was reading after the agenda was sent out last week, but I think we need to put this on the next meeting for further discussion, and the letter that's going in from us to the province on this issue. I'm assuming the province has done very little on this to move this forward, and that would be indicated by the letters of, I think there were data was June 30th was the OAPSB, yeah, June 30th, and that was sent to the minister. So obviously this is still in progress, and we still have hopefully some time to intervene and hopefully make the province see the light. It does seem like the province is sort of acknowledging anyways from the meetings that we've had, and that presentation we had was in the late winter, early spring, I think it was, with the idea of not doing a one-size-fits-all model for police services boards. So I think we've still got a good wedge there with them to press them on this. But if we could add that, if you're okay with that, Mr. Chair, to add that to the next meeting for further discussion, I think we should probably bring it back then. So there's quite a bit there to unpack.
I agree. We should revisit that. Again, I think we all agree that we were on status quo. We want to keep the system that we have at present. So, Kimberly, can we include that in the next meeting?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Is there anything else on those topics? Could I have what's recommended that the information items be received, noted, and filed? Could I have a mover and a seconder, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor? And passed. Moving on now to the police service report from the OPP for June.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, Nancy.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through the the June report. I think everyone has had an opportunity to review it already, but I will run through some of the highlights. So the calls of interest that we had in the month of June, there was a domestic assault and an overcoming resistance and failing to comply with probation charge that was laid. There was a domestic assault investigation in Prescott. The victim disclosed an allegation of being assaulted and choked by her partner. The male party was also on probation and breached those conditions. He was subsequently arrested, charged with all 3 counts, and released on a promise to appear in an undertaking for court at a later date. We move on to our violent crimes, property crimes, and drug crimes. And if we take a look at year-to-date, I'm not going to run through all the numbers, but you can see that in the month of June, we had, there was no sexual assaults, a decrease certainly from last year in the assaults from 7 to 1. And other crimes against persons, we went from 5 last year to 0 in this past June. In regards to the overall change, you'll see that the sexual assaults went from 6 to 9, so up 50%. Nothing to be alarmed at. Those are historical sexual assaults, people coming forward at a later time. The assaults have dropped down considerably. I thought that was an interesting number from 24 last year to 9, so 62.5% decrease, which is nice to see. And other crimes against persons from 25 to 17, so also down 32%. And overall, a reduction of about 36.4% change from last year.
Excuse me, Nancy, sorry to interrupt, but you're cutting in and out on your phone. I know this is pretty tough. It doesn't seem to be working properly, the Zoom conference.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes?
Okay, I will try to maybe give a break in between to see if you guys can hear me okay. The property crimes report in the month of June, you'll see that we didn't have any break and enters. Our thefts went up from 4 to 9 from last year. The theft unders are, 7 of them are actually gas drive-offs. So what that is somebody forgets to pay their gas at the gas station. So 7 of those were in relation to that. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay. And we had 2 frauds and 4 mischiefs, so down significantly from last year. And overall change, break-in enters were up 1 from last year to this year. Theft overs down 100% from 1 to 0. Our theft unders are up 85% from 20 to 37. And again, a lot of those we looked at were the gas drive-offs, which seem to be a bit of an issue. And most times people just forget to pay for their gas. They call us as soon as it happens, and then they generally return, and it was an honest mistake. But sometimes there are those that are taking advantage of the system and do a gas drive-off like that. Our frauds were down from 23 to 21, and mischiefs 21 to 15. And our overall percentage is just up 11.6% from over last year's date. Any questions on that section?
No.
Okay. And the drug crimes, not a whole lot to report there. We've got really no change from 2019 to 2020. We do have, just of interest, as we speak this morning, there is going to be a warrant to be executed in Prescott in regards to some drug activity. I can't get into the specifics of it, but they'll...
Nancy, you're actually live on this meeting.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, so clearance rates, the next page over, you will see that overall to date, our violent crimes from 2019 to 2020 have increased from by 6%, up to 71.4%. Property crimes Overall, we're sitting at 28.6%, which is not unusual for this time of year. As the months progress, we'll see an increase there. And drug crime, a difference of 55%. And the total violent property and drug is minus 9.3% overall year to date. Any questions on those?
Anyone? No?
I'm all good, Nancy. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and just of note, I'm just going through the calls for service billing summary. In the month of June, we had 9 domestic disturbances for your awareness. And on the page 23 of the Police Services Board report, we have 5 offenders in the crime abatement strategy, no charges laid. Our activity reporting patrol hours, we had 96, which is a little bit lower than we typically have. I did do an analysis this morning, and I see that the numbers have changed, so it may have been an issue of, I hate to say a glitch, but certainly the number has changed somewhat from the number that is presented on the report. So again, sometimes it depends on the date that you're calculating the information, so that's changed a bit. We've had 25 hours of foot patrol hours in the downtown core, so that was good. As far as our initiatives in the month of June, we had 2 media releases in regards to the mischief on the Pride Crosswalk. That investigation is still ongoing. We had a traffic campaign initiative, Operation Safe Driver, that ended in June and finished in the beginning of July. So we'll show those stats in the July report. We had 0 break-in enters for June, so there was no safeguard offered. And we did also have a video, myself and my CSO did a little video on what Pride means to me, so that was uploaded to the OPP website. Any questions in regards to any of the information there?
Anyone?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just one quick one for the inspector. Just on notice the foot patrols, which is fantastic to see. I just wanted to ask about bicycle patrols, because we did talk about that, I think, at the last meeting. I think there was a plan to get some bicycle patrols out, and just wondering if that's happened.
So we have not had that happen yet. We had to get, one of the bicycles had to be serviced, so that sort of coupled, which caused a bit of a delay, but we do have plans once that's back in service to get those patrols up and running, and certainly our officers enjoy doing that. It gets them out in the fresh air and interacting with the community members, so I expect for the next report you'll see some hours there.
Great, thank you very much.
Anything else? Okay. Can I have a thank you, Nancy, for your report. It's recommended that the Police Services Board report for June 2020 be accepted as presented. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Hello?
Moved by the mayor, seconded by me.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry for the delay. Therefore, all those in favor, and it's passed. And now a bylaw update. You've had a chance to read it. No, Sean, are you there? Oh, okay. Yes, Sean, please.
Not a problem. Yeah, just keeping the police services boards notified. We are going to be promoting dog tags before the end of the summer with the seasonal staff member we have on. They'll be making calls out. Also, we're having little cards printed up about what a responsible pet owner does or doesn't do to hand out as we're out in the parks and stuff like that. Also, the animal control bylaw should be forwarded this fall to council for reconsideration. It was last done in '94. Should the OPP or anyone else have anything that they want to see in it, I would appreciate if they would reach out to me and let me know. And also, new signage is being installed in all the parks and parking lots in relation to no smoking, dogs on leash, no overnight parking without a permit and stuff like that.
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just the one quick one. The one ongoing issue I'm still seeing a fair amount of, and it's very difficult to stop. The added signage may help some because I honestly think some people just aren't aware of it. But just the smoking in and around the beach area in particular. I mean, and there's also a little bit of open drinking down there that's pretty flagrant at times during the day. So maybe a couple more walkthroughs on the busier days just might help a bit. I know the presence has been good, so no complaint there. It's been excellent with Bylaw being down there quite a bit, but it does seem there's a few people that just either don't want to get it or don't seem to get it with the smoking. Well, right in front of groups of kids, and it just does really bother me to see that. There was someone the other day smoking literally right in the middle of the beach with 5-6 kids around him, and drinking a king can of Corona at the same time. And as much as I don't mind the open container, I know Doug Ford's allowing us to okay that now, so the booze doesn't even bother me as much as within reason, but the smoking is absolutely, it's a little offensive down there at times. So the added signage I think would really help as you enter that beach area, something even right on that pole that's very prominent. That sign on the pole I don't think has been replaced for a number of years with the rules and regulations there. So just the smoking is the one thing that does seem to be the continual bylaw offense down there, and obviously that's a pretty big no-no these days. Thanks very much.
All right. Then it's recommended that the recommendation is to put this for information. Lindsay, I don't know, do we need a motion on that?
No, we don't, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Move on to anything under old business. No? Anything under new business? Then anything about the public service announcements? Do we have what we'd like to highlight the next month?
Mr. Chair,
Perhaps.
since we're in the progress of the speed adjustment and the ongoing campaigns there, I think would probably be a good idea to stick with that for now to get people adjusted to what would seem to be the 40K limit coming in at the end of August, early September. So I would suggest that unless Inspector Graves has something else that's more pressing that we need to include there.
No, I agree. I think we started on the path with the reduction of the speed, so we'll continue on until we get that up and running and get people used to it.
Okay. Would we like to put a side note on the smoking down in the public areas like the beach? I hear crickets.
Sorry, what were you asking on that last one, Stan?
I was just saying if we could put a sidebar in on the announcement about the smoking on the beach or in the public areas, because by the time if we put it into the next announcement, it will be close to September. So
Well, we could do that internally as well. If we could do something on our own social media, maybe as a reminder as well, that would go out instantly.
okay, good.
We've done a few things like
Anything else for the public service announcements? All right. Just before we adjourn, is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up or any concerns? Okay, if not, then let's go to adjournment. Let's pick a time and date for next month. Kimberly?
Yep.
What date seems to work for everybody?
Did you want to stick to a Thursday, either the 20th or 27th?
So I was wondering, is there a need for a meeting in August, or did you want to move to September? It's in past years.
As far as holidays and everything. How about September? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, that's great. I'm on holidays during the last 2 weeks of August.
Super. What about the 17th or the 24th of September? The 24th be better?
Yeah, it would be better for us.
Okay. All right then. Is the 24th good for everybody else? Sorry.
for
Good
me.
here. Yep.
Good for me, thanks.
All right. It's recommended that this meeting adjourn to September 24th at 8:30 a.m. All those in favor? Great. It's 9:02. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in September. One quick thing, Matthew or